All right, so now we're gonna get into a large-scale program overview. So I don't know exactly how you ended up getting into this program, or if you were referred, or if you saw our ads or whatever, or website or whatever it was, but I wanna make sure that we have a full understanding of how this all plays out. So really there are 4 components that over the course of the next few months we'll really start to dive into, but these are the principles behind, the guiding principles behind what we're doing. And the first and foremost, which what you're gonna get real hands-on with, is our training philosophy and our training system. So, and they're all connected, just so you know, is that the first one is the energy system training. Now, I'm not gonna get into it a lot right now because there will be further in-depth videos with that, but essentially we have 3 different types of energy system, from our creatine system to our glycolytic or carb system, and then our beta oxidation fat or fat burning system. And how these are incorporated directly into different training goals that we have, whether that be a power training goal, a strength training goal, hypertrophy training goal, or like an endurance training goal, and they're directly correlated over to that. So we first begin with breaking the overall structure and overall workout program down into these specific types of training goals that are directly related to the energy systems that we're going to be using. Now, the next thing, this is my personal favorite, because once I figured all of this stuff out, losing weight and keeping it off became actually really easy. Before, it was a little bit more challenging, which is metabolic inefficiency and flexibility. So a lot of the times we think like, oh, wouldn't we want to have a efficient metabolism? Well, actually we want an inefficient. If you think about your metabolism as like an engine, we don't want the Tesla model or whatever car that's super gas efficient, getting hundreds and hundreds of miles per gallon, because that means we basically eat a piece of broccoli and we're good. And if we overeat on one piece of broccoli, we store that extra fuel as fat. So we want an inefficient metabolism. We have ways to start rebuilding that, to actually improve that, and to optimize or actually like break down our engine so it's like a Hummer, allowing us to eat more food and calories to get us to where we want to be, so it's a little bit easier. Now the next thing is flexibility with our metabolism. So what this looks like is that, I'm sure you've seen those people that, or even myself, it's quite funny. I would go and eat, I was like super low carb for so long, and then I would go and I worked with nutritionists and different things like that, and they were like, all right, we're gonna have you on a bunch of carbs. And I was like, well, I don't know if this is good. And keeping everything the same, keeping our calories and at a base level where I wasn't supposed to be gaining any fat, I definitely did, because my metabolism was not flexible, meaning that I couldn't switch between multiple different energy sources different times throughout the day. I have a very hard time doing that, which is one of the things we'll be focusing on expanding and increasing with our metabolic flexibility. Now, you can't talk about training goals, you can't talk about losing weight, you can't talk about building muscle, you can't talk about metabolism without your hormones, because hormones are what influence all of that. So another core principle and pillar of this program is hormone optimization, from reducing levels of estrogen to freeing up testosterone to managing cortisol, and quite a few others. We're going to get into that. And this is all taken care of inside of what we do with the trainings that are going to be dripped to you throughout each and every month, around optimizing hormones, sleep, different things like that, that all play into these factors. And the last one, this one is super important, because as I got older, the more and more and more important this became, and it is recovery and mobility facilitation. So what does this mean? This means that we need to recover, because if you know anything about its adaptation and getting the way you want to get, like building the muscle or losing the fat, we always have a stimulus that comes in, whether that be weight training, running, the food we eat. We always have a stimulus, and then it takes our body time to recover from that stimulus to get the adaptations we want or the goals that we seek. So we really need to focus on the recovery methods. And then the mobility facilitation is improving our joints, getting rid of the knots and the trigger points that are going on, improving joint mobility. Because what I've found is that so many people will work out super, super hard, they'll get going, they'll see great progress, and then they have an imbalance, and pop goes the shoulder, the knee, and then they're on the sidelines for 2-3 weeks, and they lose all all the momentum that they had. And I want to make sure that doesn't happen to you, so you can actually be moving pain-free, have something that you can do forever and ever and ever, and that you actually feel good while lifting. It doesn't become something that is harming you. So those are the 4: energy system training, metabolic inefficiency and flexibility. It is hormone optimization and recovery, and mobility facilitation. So those are the 4 principles. Now, how do we deliver those is what I want to just chat about real briefly. You'll see it in the next few videos. The energy system training we covered, that's the workouts that we're going to be doing. The metabolic inefficiency and flexibility, that's going to be getting into our nutrition plans that we've had, and so is the hormone optimization. That will be kind of tied together with the food, as well as some of the other lifestyle factors that we can that we'll be teaching you about. And then the recovery and mobility facilitation, we are going to have classes, live classes. We're going to have trainings for you to go through, different assessments and things for you to go through to find out where you're at, what you need to focus on to get you where you want to go. So that's the large scale overview. Thank you so much for staying through to this video, and I'll see you in the next video.